This conference will now be.
Jessica, okay. Um, with that then, we'll call the regular city council meeting to order for May 9th, 2022. Roll call, everyone's in attendance, and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have Josh and, I'm sorry, your first name? Brian, that's right, Brian here. So let's take a look at, everybody to take a look at the agenda. Do you see anything you'd like to add it or corrections?
I did not have Brian on the agenda, so if you want to add him to either wherever you want to put him, if you want to put him requests and presentations, or if you want to put him in unfinished business, that's up to you.
Can we put him with the ambulance report?
Yep, that's fine.
That's even better, please.
Makes sense.
Yep.
All
I
right,
move to approve with the addition, second.
motion by Lauren, seconded by Chad to approve the agenda with the addition of Brian from Expert Billing. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We have a little different look on our agenda. The consent agenda items, you can look at them. Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but we will be doing one motion.
Yeah, so the consent agenda will be stuff that's normally not controversial, so meeting minutes, anything like a zoning request that was previously approved by the zoning commission, or an EDA request that was approved by the EDA, something that basically the council just needs to take a second look at and officially approve it. So yes, one motion will handle all items on the consent agenda. If there's something that you wish to take off to discuss, then we pull it off of there and put it on the end of new business.
Meaning if there's something we want changed or corrected in the minutes?
Well, if it's something simple as that,
Yeah.
I would make a motion in the consent agenda with this correction.
Sounds good.
Yeah, good.
That sounds better.
Then to speed up the meeting.
Yeah. So you have the minutes and the commission member approval? Who's the member we're approving?
That should be in your packet here on the.
Rothman or Blackman or something like that.
Rick Rotman?
Oh, so it's just on here.
Yeah, it's just, I went through and I researched everything and I got a list of all the people that are on and their current expirations, so I'm just asking the council to approve that as it stands.
Harvey Radke doesn't even live here, hasn't lived here for
He's
months.
still on their roster.
Really?
Mhm.
From Salt Lake City, wherever you, okay. Makes a lot of sense.
I'll make a motion to accept the board commission members.
I'll
Consent
second.
agenda.
Consent
Oh, yeah. Consent.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda items then.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Chad, seconded by Jody to approve the consent agenda items. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, then we go on to resolution 2207.
Mayor and council, this is a resolution that adopts the revenue loss provision under the Coronavirus Fiscal Relief Act. So basically, this gives us a lot of latitude with what we are allowed to spend our money on. Previously, we had to budget for and put stuff in certain categories. This change allows us to have a much wider, broader stroke about where we have to put the money. So I'm just asking approval for this resolution.
And this is the 65,000 that
The ARPA funds, yeah.
where we get half.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
129, 171.
okay.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Chad, seconded by Lauren to approve resolution 2207. A resolution to elect the standard allowance available under the revenue loss provision of the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund established under the American Rescue Plan Act. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
In that clear folder there, there's.
Is this the one I sent? I'm gonna do it right now.
You found?
Pass that over, please.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ambulance department report. She's not here. She is coming though?
Yep.
Okay.
Her or Sarah will be here, yes.
Okay, should we, go to fire quick and then police if she's not here yet?
Sure, and then we can have Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, before you have the, monthly fire department report. Any questions or discussion?
What was a short description for electric hybrid vehicles training?
So they went over the appropriate response to hybrid and electric vehicles, basically where the batteries are located, where the charging cables are located, what's the appropriate way to respond to those incidents. Just basically more of a safety overall for the fire department than it was for everything else.
Tony, oh, there it is, never mind.
Yep, they're seeing it.
Never mind.
If you had to get somebody out of one of those electric vehicles, there's special things you have to do, right? Because of the grounding and all that, yeah.
Yep, and so there's some points that you can disconnect all the power on the car, and depending on what type of vehicle it is, it's in certain areas, so we talked about how to shut those down.
There is no regulations on
No,
the disconnect being in the same spot on all brands.
That's right.
Each brand has their own,
mhm.
which is
It takes a lot of water to put one of them out.
Don't get
So-
electrocuted.
yeah.
Tony, part of this, I just have a question since it's kind of the same topic. There's not a charging station in New Richland, is
No.
there? I don't even know if anybody in town has one, but how would that work? Would that be hooked up to something that the city electricity and then,
Well, it would,
They just-
whoever put it in would be responsible for it. If the city would do something like, I know the city of Waseca has a couple of them, they
Yeah.
provide the high school and such.
Mhm.
But it's the same type of deal as a gas station where the person swipes their card and hooks up and
Yeah.
it bills that same thing. So
Okay.
so it'd be ultimately responsible. But I would venture to guess that there's probably a significant amount of grant dollars out there to put something like
station
that in.
okay. I know there's the funeral home in Waseca that has one.
Are you thinking that the city should do that? or-
At some point, yes.
I can put it on my list of things to look at. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be a
Low
priority, but yeah.
Right.
I don't think anybody in town has one.
Well,
No,
you
not
know,
yet, but
I think
Yeah.
that it's a legitimate thing. I mean, if we're looking to get people to come to the community and stay, I mean, how great would it be to be able to, put a charging station out at St. Olaf Lake and then they'd sit there and enjoy the park. for
Larry and Pam
half
got
an
one.
hour for,
Or they used to.
No,
No.
they
They
have
have
a
a
hybrid.
hybrid.
there's a
It's still
hybrid.
electric.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't have to be charged.
so, yeah, we'll put it on the list of things to look at eventually down the road.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
fire department report.
Motion to accept fire department report.
Second.
Motion by Jody, seconded by Lauren to approve the fire department report. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Carried. Police department? Josh?
Chief? Please go ahead, Chief.
How are you tonight?
Good, how's everybody else?
Good, thank you.
We're still above ground barely.
Jody's hanging in there.
Yeah.
Alright, did everybody receive a copy of the report?
Yep.
Did anybody have any questions up front? And as per usual, I'll read through it, and if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. The New Richland Police Department responded to 129 calls for service during the month of April. Most calls requiring additional follow-up have been completed. As always, we remind the public to get in touch with us if they have any information regarding any incidents that have occurred in the city of New Richland or surrounding areas. Total calls through April of 2022 is 484. Total calls through April of 2021 was 492. Items completed in April, I attended the Minnesota Chiefs of Police Conference. I also attended a loss control and safety workshop through the League of Minnesota Cities with Administrator Martins. I implemented a squad car vehicle inspection process to help with preventative maintenance and repairs. I sent out 10 ordinance compliance letters for various city ordinances, and follow-up will be done when required. Down to training and education, 2 officers were signed up to complete their emergency medical responder recertification. Personnel, Officer Victorino was continuing to work through field training. Squad maintenance, Squad 260 had an oil change completed. And then upcoming events, we have 2022 Farm and City Days, dates July 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then 2022 Night to Unite will be Tuesday, August 2nd. Any questions?
I've got a couple comments.
Yep.
How much time do you typically give an ordinance violation to,
The
Comply.
ones that I just sent out, they have until this Friday. So I gave them 2 weeks,
okay,
so, which I thought was a fair amount of time.
What are the majority of the ordinance violations that you're seeing?
I sent out anything from animals to junk, unlicensed, unregistered vehicles. It was majority of those.
Those are good.
as you know, as you're very well aware, I have issues with some of these ordinances. And I've heard time and time again, the excuses why the ordinances aren't good enough to prosecute. We've got a vehicle that's been up on blocks for, what, a year? Where is that? That is dangerous. We've got violations all over that doesn't seem to be fitting into our ordinance. So with that being said, the ordinance has been an issue since this council has been on, and we need to start moving forward on getting those updated so we have some teeth.
If you're talking about the particular vehicle that I think you're talking about, that's in the court system, that is nothing out of our control, that's out of our control.
It's unfortunate that we have to put up with it then.
There's criminal stuff, felonies and gross misdemeanors that are 2 years out. Ordinance violations underneath that for enforcement.
Even the speeding tickets that I wrote last year haven't come through.
Isn't that crazy?
The courts they're working as diligently as they can, but everything is just piled up. There's not enough people to go through cases. The caseload for attorneys across the country is astonishing high.
Yeah.
There's not enough people to get things done. And
Yeah. Well, I even know at school, truancy cases, the courts won't even hear them.
Yeah.
They said just forget them, so
Yeah.
once kids figure that out and parents hear that.
Well, that's the problem, with our ordinances too, we're kind of stuck. Even if we had good ordinances and could, get the violation through, then it gets hung up, and that's really unfortunate for
it's,
anybody.
yeah, it's across the country.
Yeah, it's not a very good deal.
No. We're not the only city dealing with that.
Oh, no, sure not.
Ordinance.
Officer Victorino, he's been in training a while.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing many shifts though. He's done a shift here to shift there. He's a construction guy by trade like Chad, and just his time to do it is few and far between. And
So he's still doing ride-along?
he's on his own with.
He is on his
somebody.
own?
Yeah, he's primary officer in the car, and then we have another officer that's with him.
Oh, so you still have two.
Yeah, but it's not like he'll come and work a shift, and then it'll be 2 or 3 weeks, and then he'll work another shift. That's why it's taking a little bit longer to get him through. So
Okay.
Okay.
I thought he's been on a while,
Yeah.
so,
he just doesn't have the time to give Josh to be here on a regular basis. So.
okay. So you feel like the new job's going well?
I think so. I feel I've gotten quite a bit of positive feedback. So,
I want to commend him again. I know I did last time, but last week I had a problem with a family out on the school crossing, and a little girl, I don't know, first grader maybe, second grader,
yeah.
she's having a major meltdown. Her brother's trying to chase her. I'm worried that she's going to run into Highway 30, on and on. And after everybody was gone, so Josh drove her into the parking lot and helped She wasn't afraid of a policeman or a police car, and she responded very well to Josh. And her mother was only 2 blocks away, but it was a kind of a little messy situation that
Well,
could have been,
she could have ran out and,
well, she acted like she was, and I don't even think she knew where she was. But Josh, I'm just saying, Josh came over and helped. And, because I don't know if I could have caught the little girl, but Josh could.
She was quick.
Yeah, she was. But anyway, but he came over, drove into the lot and helped and got things calmed down. Just somebody was having a meltdown, but if it had been anywhere else and along Highway 30, it could have been somewhat of a not good situation. So just want to tell everybody that how you helped and
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yep.
that's hard work. If you can figure out how to get these ordinances fixed before it.
It won't happen overnight.
No, obviously.
Right.
Any other questions for Josh?
I'll make a motion to accept the police department report.
I'll second it.
Motion by Chad, second by Jason to approve the police department report. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sarah, ambulance department.
Sorry.
All right.
You see you have Brian here.
Had to come from Austin, and then there's construction at 90. Imagine that. So, all right. Don't have much to report. I do have a couple applicants that I want to get approved. One's already got his EMT. His mom's actually a doctor. And he's in school, so. And then another one is in school doing EMT right now can run as a first responder. As soon as he's done, get those two on. And the other one's almost done with the class. And once he's done with that, then he'll be an EMT.
You have one to approve.
Yeah, two of them. They've both been, the background checks have been gone through. Samuel Young, Yoon, and then Eric Wellhaven. We don't have to pay for them.
I'll make a motion to accept those two for ambulance.
Second.
Motion by Jason, seconded by Chad to approve, and you've got the names,
I'll do
Tony.
them, Sarah, yes.
As EMT and first responder.
Yep, until the one's done with the EMT class, and then he'll be an EMT.
Right.
So,
At no cost to the city.
no cost to the city.
Okay,
I have two that are going next week for their skills test out, and then they'll do the nationals, and then hopefully get them going too.
okay. Any other discussion on the applicants? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So Sarah, what were the 2 grants?
I was just gonna
What
ask.
were the amounts and what could they be used
Well, I
for?
have to pick them up yet. So the one in Waseca, they gave us for the ACRs, and then $200 extra. And then the Richland Foundation gave us for the scoop stretcher,
The what?
for the scoop stretcher.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as I get them, then I'll be purchasing them and I'll be making something on that. So
Okay.
it's kind of nice. That'll be very, very helpful.
Yeah.
And have another project that I guess is going to be going on. I was contacted. I don't know how much I want to say, but I was contacted by a local church, and they want to come in and do a missionary work in the back and remodel the living space at their expense.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Been meeting with North Memorial Ground, and I'll be doing that monthly. Ground supervisor. Been gonna be doing that monthly. He wants to we have stuff going on for Pharmacy Days, and he actually wants to come and be there, a part of it, so that way, he's like, maybe I can even get a rig, so that way the community sees that we're working together and everything like that, so.
Okay.
Come down.
Do we have some of the training that the staff do that gets reimbursed by the state?
Yeah, I just got a reimbursement check.
Okay,
You just
no, I was
got
just
total.
curious if you knew about them when they come in
Yeah.
or if.
I don't know when they came in, but I just got an email back about how pump that we got.
So then we keep track of that and where we are.
Yeah, so.
Okay,
Reimbursements done. First responders do not get a reimbursement, but EMTs do, even for their refreshers and stuff. So anytime it's not much, but it's something that goes
Sure.
towards what
all helps.
they're doing, and everything. We got, Sarah and I don't know if you went through the CPR thing.
No, we haven't looked at that yet. We haven't talked about it.
I did. Make this up here. Tony, did you need one? I only got the one.
No, go ahead, I'll get it from later.
So the CPR class, we did some looking on it. Tony and them found out prices, and we figured we'd go with $65 to charge for CPR classes. And if they get a book and CPR card, it's going to be about a total of $25 for that. So that'll come out of their cost. And then we figured if we gave $20 to the city, and then Sarah Jo and I get $20 per person. So if there's 12 people, she gets for 6 and I get for 6. We split it in half. And then her and I ourselves are gonna donate some to the Relief Association out of our pay.
You're assuming that it's gonna be 12 in a class?
That's what we're gonna do, 12. We're gonna have classes of 12 to make it easy.
And if you don't get 12, what are you gonna do?
Then it'll just, whatever, how many are in that class. I'd say if we don't have a class, if there isn't 6 people, then we reschedule and get a bigger group. So we could do 6, we could do 12, but I think 12 would be the max for us unless we had additional hands. Say I had a couple extra people to just monitor them, and then I go check them off on their.
So the $65 includes the book and the card, right?
No, the 65, it would include.
Yeah, it includes your
So
book.
the class would be
Right.
that, and then minus all that stuff. So you guys, the city would get $20 right away. And then Sarah Jo and I would get, this is just for one person.
Okay.
So there's no first aid training with this?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay.
We'd train you, if you paid $65,
Not first aid.
not first aid, no, CPR, just CPR.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because
Sorry.
it says CPR on the top, so.
Yep, CPR training.
I'm a little confused. So you're charging $65.
And this would be the breakdown of what everything would cost on there.
Okay, so $25, the city paid for those.
The class.
The books.
Out of this, all the stuff underneath would come out of the $65.
Okay. And the $20 for the city
That's what you would make per.
after
person.
the $25.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Sarah Jo and I get paid, and then we
Yeah.
put some into our relief out of our own pocket.
I see. Yeah, you're getting paid as another part of your call time and.
Yeah, what I figured
Well-
was I'd work with Tony and make us another spot underneath mine and Sarah Jo's,
Yeah.
say CPR.
I don't know the best way to attack it, because I do have concerns. I'm almost thinking it makes more sense to use them kind of sort of as a private contractor. Because if we pay that through payroll,
And you have to deduct.
Sarah Jo may it was the same thing we had problems with her when she was cleaning stuff, is that those hours, whether she wants them to or not, count towards overtime. I don't want that to be a messy
Right.
mess.
But we could put it on the ambulance too, and put it like I do for runs,
Yeah,
and put,
Yeah, I don't,
That's-
I wanna
that's
do a
what I
little,
was
yeah, I wanna do a
thinking.
little, I wanna make sure that all is kosher before.
yeah,
We just wanna
because
get this
I guess
so we
I
can-
look at it as your ambulance check has your
Right.
director pay, of course, and then your run time and your call time,
Yeah.
and then you could have CPR.
I could add an extra one, me and him can sit and work on that.
Yeah,
And
you
get
just
it
check and
figured
see
out.
why that
Yeah, I
would not
just
work.
wanna make sure that everything's kosher before accepted, and then we'll just have to set the fee on the fee schedule, we'll have to add that as an item on the fee schedule, and then it'll have to be approved.
Okay,
All right.
But I know that some of you were concerned with the $65, but when I looked through it, you can see it on what you got there, the 65 is at the very low end of the scale. So
I was
I
just
think
gonna
it's
ask that.
it's competitive with everybody else.
And at
you
the
know,
care
for
center,
being a
we'll
problem.
probably, I don't know, something we can figure out. 'cause there's
Well,
gonna be
I think there's a chance that, for the care center, maybe we drop that $20 and we go to 45 for the care
Yeah.
center since it's a city-owned enterprise.
Yeah,
It would make sense, I guess.
That's
We
what I was
share our
thinking.
resources, so. But we can do, Sarah and I can talk about that. We can get the fee schedule ready for approval for the next meeting so that she can start doing this stuff and I'll verify kind of on things.
so we can start setting up a date and get people signed up to,
So you would hold the training here in the,
yeah,
New
we
room?
hold it right here, in the, back there in the,
so someone says, you know what, could you come to our church and do this in the basement and we've
We
got
could do
12
that.
people, you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to do
because
it.
those mannequins can go with me and Sarah Jo wherever we need. All we need is something, a computer to put the discs on so we can run through all the stuff and everything like that, then,
There is a projector in here that you can use, so.
okay. Wonder if it would work to my laptop.
Mhm.
I'll bring it in, we'll figure it out. But,
Teaching these classes all falls under our insurance.
Yeah, I didn't hear that it didn't. I mentioned it at the loss control workshop and they didn't seem to think it would be a problem, but I'll specifically call our guy Antonio and ask him for sure.
And if it don't fall under there, if you're on it under the ambulance, it should cover under the.
The only thing that I could possibly think that we might encounter is we may have to have some E&O insurance for the ambulance.
There should be some anyway for this.
There is on the
City
sewer,
council.
there is on the sewer stuff. I just looked at the thing today. The E&O stuff covers, I don't know if it was every department or if it was only on the
What's
utility
E&O?
building stuff.
Errors and
Errors and
omissions.
omissions.
The insurance used to cover city council members,
Yeah,
departments, your
Yeah.
employees, so make sure.
Yep.
We don't want to be caught without.
no,
that.
then just let me know when you get everything figured out, then I can
Yeah.
get it going, get a date
That's
going.
You would say something incorrect and you would come after us.
I just didn't know what he owed.
Other than that, I think things are going good. Now that summer's coming, I think we'll have Hattie back. I'm not sure what her schedule's gonna be like, so we'll have Hattie back and we'll have all these new people and I think their schedule's gonna look pretty good and stuff.
Did you say that closet's empty? Did you say that closet's empty?
My stuff
It's gone.
was all in that one black file cabinet. That is, the rest of it, I have no idea what's up. Black file cabinet was one of the stuff that I had. All of that's gone.
Okay, so there you are, Tony. That closet's available then.
So that black file cabinet, I think I might have the key for it too. I can look and I'll give that to you. You can have it. Anyways,
Then you have Brian here, just if anybody
Yeah.
has questions about building.
how's it going for the billing?
I was just gonna share a couple spreadsheets with everyone.
Let's
All right.
see them.
Alright. I'm brought three of them.
Oh, I'll pass them around because I can't see that little print.
Yeah, I apologize for the small print.
I have glasses on.
Yeah, Sarah Jo had asked me to come because I couldn't make it last month. So, I know, I tried to get it.
What is
all
that, like
on page.
font size 2?
Yeah, because
Holy
Size
cow.
2.
it's easier to, I know it's small, but then you can see the whole thing. I mean,
We got some patient information.
Oh,
on
wait a
here.
minute, here.
Uh-oh, that's HIPAA.
My name's on there.
Yeah, that's HIPAA.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take that all away from all of them.
Yep.
'Cause they can't see their names.
Which one, which sheet?
The tiny
First
print.
We can't.
If
No.
they have names on them,
Oh, I thought you guys hired ours service.
this one you can.
We still have to be.
My name's in
Yep.
there.
Okay. All
There
right,
you go.
well then I won't share that one.
No.
Okay.
If
The other
you
one,
do,
the other
next
one's
time, write
okay.
it out.
Yeah, I'll share this one though.
Okay,
This one doesn't have any patients on it.
right.
Just to explain what this was though, it was the list of all the charges, total charges for that we have processed as claims,
I can see it, so I don't know. So
right there.
the price there,
From 37,000
Mhm.
processed in charges. We got a slow start because kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier, Image Trend had to get us on board. We use their software. And the resources, we just couldn't move, we just couldn't get things up and running. We tried to move them forward, but they're short on resources there.
I think it's everywhere.
Yeah, you can't get people hired, but we finally got it going. So we really, if you look at the aging report, you can see we only have charges really that have come into in the last 60 days, or payments that we're posting. If you look beyond that, we really have received hardly anything yet. You know, so what we should now see is the payments should start to come in. And we should be posting those in our system as opposed to Sarah Jo posting them here. But everything that has been coming in, she would have, you know, she'd still be receiving some of those payments. So she wanted me to come in and talk because.
I know that they sent back a bunch of paperwork and then I gotta go back and I gotta put it back in my file. Cause Sarah will put it where the payment goes through and then she gives them to me and I go back and I find the run and I put it in with their file.
Right.
And it is a lot of time consuming where I think that the stuff should be sent to them for payment. So that way we don't have, cause that way you can put it in the file with it there instead of me putting it in the file here.
Right.
Yeah, I scan it in and I have it in the computer, but it gets thicker and thicker.
Yep. And that's the one topic, cause, you know, you had asked, I think it was you that you had asked, well, how do we shift more of this?
No, that would be the other Sarah.
The other Sarah. Yeah.
Well,
Get
the
Sarah
purpose of this was to free up
For
Sarah's
her
her
not
time.
to,
That's why she said I should come in and, you know, I was
Yeah.
delighted. So the one main thing is for about 70% of the services that we service, we are their mailing address. We get their payments. We're not doing that with you yet. You're still the remit to address. So we could actually take it to the next step and we could actually put our address on all the invoices and.
So
Yeah,
what's
so-
happening, if we're the remit address, the checks are coming here, then what's
And
happening?
then we coordinate through our HIPAA SharePoint site, compliance site, and we scan and share the information. We have to work with Sarah to get deposit dates, which that's not all gonna go away. I mean, so the one thing there is, some cities don't really, for lack of a better word, they don't care as much about making sure we post our deposits in the same month that they're posting their deposits. Some cities are very particular about that, and there's a lot of interaction to make sure that we are posting the same dates that you're depositing into your checking account so you can reconcile at the end of the month. Some cities don't care if it bleeds into the next month or a little bit was in the month before. Well, there's more interaction that occurs if you want to reconcile that exactly right every month.
And it should be, right, Tony?
here.
What?
It should be done so
Blacked
that,
out the names.
Yeah, so that it's
So you
easier to
can see how much
reconcile
we've got.
everything,
I blacked out the names.
Well,
Yeah, I
What
would
are we
agree
looking
that,
at here?
I think it makes sense to spend a little bit more effort to make sure the months reconcile. Because then at the end of the year, you know, you get audited, you have you know, if you got all your deposits are aligned.
So have you had any issues with people not paying them?
Well, we have, if you look at.
5,000
So we're
some
starting to get a trend now. We've been doing this. And I'm looking at.
Well, now when you go over here, oh, total pay.
So I'm seeing
Oh, I looked at the
that,
wrong one. South County Health is 5,
Then-
self-pay is almost 11,000.
right, exactly. Self-pay is about 11,000 of the
Mhm.
38,000 that we've charged so far, or that's in aging. So self-pay is a pretty large amount.
I see the self-pay is up to like 4 months already. How long do you go before you start?
right,
Collections.
Yeah,
We do 3 statements. So it's.
so 3 months, right?
So it's 3 months if we have all the correct information.
Okay,
If we have to search down their address or you have missing information, that adds 30 days. If we have to do that twice, which happens now, you have 60 days.
And for like those patients that can't sign because.
So it can take up to 6 months sometimes before you send someone to collections.
okay.
And then what we would like to do, and if Sarah uses our SharePoint site, we have a collections folder in there. We'll put in a refer to collections list so you can review the list before we send anyone to collections. Once again, we have some services that say we don't care about reviewing it, just send them. So that's a choice that the city makes. And
That's up to you guys, if you want them to send them to collections.
I think that's what we hired you for, so
I
I mean,
agree,
if we're
Chad.
freeing up time, we don't need to have time.
We don't
If
need
go
to
to
double
questions,
it
we
up.
don't need to know that either, because we're gonna still pick them up the same
We'll make
as
that,
any other day.
we'll make that note on your, we have a spreadsheet with all these preferences, we'll make that a note. for-
I would prefer to have a motion on record about that, just so that we have that in the files that.
That they
we're
go
asking
ahead
them to
and do
it
the
and
collections.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Chad, seconded by Jason, to have expert billing do the collections
Okay,
without
We'll,
approval
we'll
from,
just move it forward and not
right.
put on our list for review.
Any
It is
other
approved.
discussion on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So I feel like we're just getting rolling here, we really only have like 60 days of payment posting data. But if we were to annualize that, what I'm kind of looking at is I wanted to see what your Medicare and Medicaid percentages were, because that impacts your cash flow.
And I don't know, because Sarah did that, the other Sarah.
So if you look at this, and I can point it out to them, but
$4,500.
about 50% of your current posted payments are Medicare.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which doesn't surprise me.
And about 16 to 17% are Medicaid. So you have combined Medicaid and Medicare postings of 70%. That's pretty high percentage for Medicare plus Medicaid. So I think I explained during one time I was here that Medicare and Medicaid only pay a certain amount.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if you charge $1,000 for the BLS run, Medicaid's gonna pay $500. Medicare might pay $550. You can't charge the patient for the balance.
So is that the
Right.
portion that we end up writing off?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
in these dollar amounts then, is this the gross bill or is it what
This
is
is-
allowed?
These are actually payment postings. This
Okay.
aging report is actual payments.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't even bring, every month you get what's called a transaction activity summary, which has all transactions, adjustments, payments.
So is that something you could send to Sarah, so when it's the ambulance report, they could have a record of that?
Yeah, we send it every month.
I
wanna be
don't
part of
get it,
I
because
I would think it would need to go.
it'd be going.
Well, no, Sarah Jo, if Sarah Jo wants to, she can give that to Sarah for her report, or at least
It
a
should come to
breakdown.
it should come to the
Yeah.
city,
Yep.
Yeah, if,
not
I was just
necessarily.
thinking if there was a breakdown or, that.
We could maybe, I think maybe we could try to do it quarterly, I don't think.
Something like
monthly
that.
makes
Just
a lot of
something so
sense,
we-
but-
Not at the end of the year, all of a sudden, oh, we got this big report.
What we do
Yeah.
is, so we have a HIPAA compliant SharePoint folder system, and Sarah has access to that. So the monthly reports go into that folder system, which she can access through the internet. And she has she has a link to get into that.
Mhm.
So we don't actually email or send the reports. We send an invoice saying your reports are ready.
Okay.
And she goes into access in this HIPAA compliant folder.
Makes sense.
And so if someone else can have access, we just send you a link.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I will just work with Sarah Jo to develop some type of report, and then I'll just have, I don't wanna be part of that data, cause I wanna keep that HIPAA stuff in compliance,
Yeah.
so I'll just, we'll find a report that works, and I'll have her take the data minus names and stuff, and just kind of put that into a report that we can share with you guys about where we're at status wise.
And if you need like summary, any kind of summary, quarterly summary reports, or annual summary reports, we do those.
Okay.
We just don't know exactly what you want yet,
Sure.
but usually I can sort of guess what the most valuable reports are.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's,
Yeah. I would like to see if you could have a report, at least at the end of the year, saying, here's the amount that we tried to collect, here's the amount that was paid, and of that, here's the amount that's written off.
Yep.
Not just a column to say written off, and we don't know what it is.
I think that should be monthly because
Yeah,
we're gonna
monthly or
want that
quarterly.
number for budget.
Yeah, that would be nice, because I remember last year when we saw the amount for written off, we was, whoa,
Yeah.
but we didn't know the
it'd be nice to see
circumstances.
what we actually make.
I would like to see that so that it's reconciled each month because like I said, come budget time, we need to plan
Do you
for
need
it.
a motion
I
on
think
that?
it needs to be monthly or quarterly.
Yeah.
So if you want monthly, that's fine.
I'd like to
but
see it monthly.
At least
Some months
quarterly.
we are busier than others.
and you do get a monthly, it's called, every month in the folder, the HIPAA compliant folder, there's what's called a transaction summary report,
Mhm.
and it outlines all of that.
That'd be perfect.
Is the payments from Medicare and Medicaid that high usually in any ambulance entity?
It's,
Just because there was so many
really-
people have it?
There's one formula that applies to zip codes established by the federal CMS Medicare. And most of Minnesota has the same formula. Everyone's getting paid the same.
I mean, what I'm saying is most people that are older take Medicare and Medicaid, not their own insurance.
That's right.
Is that's the trend of it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why there's, you're around 70%.
Yeah. that's what I figured.
So you're 50% Medicare. And, that's not a lot higher than a lot of other areas or other towns but it's a little higher. Usually they're in the 40 to 45% range.
Well, it depends on your demographics.
It's
How many people we have. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a care center in town that has 45 beds in it.
Mhm.
So, and we have an aging community, so that naturally it's gonna be higher.
Right.
My question is, does Medicaid and Medicare, do they pay slower than other organizations, or are they pretty good about getting you paid?
No, they pay pretty well, but with
Do they?
Medicare, you have to have a patient signature. So the one thing that the aging, if you look at the aging report, you're gonna see already that, if you look at a 91 to 120 day column,
Yep,
the largest number is Medicare.
right.
Right.
That's why I asked the question.
Because you don't get signatures all the time when you're picking up someone you can't sign.
So what do you
And
do
you can't
then?
get paid unless you have a signature.
Right, so what do you do to
And
get,
he's been sending, if the family's available, we can get a signature from them, because then we just write in the report that it's, family member. But half the time, there is no family member.
well,
When you go down
so
there.
you
Yeah,
contact somebody to
Yeah.
get the
That's when we
signature?
send out that 30-day request for information.
It's just
Yeah.
the nature of
And
the
then if we
business.
don't get
It
it, send
is.
it out again.
Because if they're unresponsive,
Now we're
I'm
6
sorry,
months out.
I mean, if you're unresponsive, I'm not gonna get your signature. I could ask you the 3 days later, but I'm like,
So I have another question, Brian. So who is South Country Health Alliance?
When you see anytime
My
you see
dad
something,
been forwarded.
a PMAP plan,
Pardon me?
anything,
Yes.
you see something that's categorized as a PMAP plan, that's Medicaid.
Oh, okay,
So they are a commercial insurance company that's been contracted to manage Medicaid.
okay.
And all the payers do that. UCare has a PMAP plan. Health Partners has a PMAP plan. I think Blue Cross is the only one that doesn't. They call it something else, that it's more Medicare driven. But Minnesota, it's essentially the state of Minnesota paying the commercial insurance companies to manage Medicaid.
Okay. No, I was just curious because the other thing when you kept talking about 70% and I'm just doing the numbers in my head, there was no way it was coming to 70%. But then when you add $5,300 more in there,
Yeah.
then it will get closer to 70 cents. Otherwise it was 50%,
the person that
basically.
you'd need to talk to about South Country is my father. He's the one, but he's not here. He's the one that founded it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I was just curious what it was and if it was
It's
what kind of
really
organization it was.
mostly in this region.
First,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
and
Okay, perfect.
low income.
It isn't
Family.
it's not in northern Minnesota or really western Minnesota.
Okay.
South Country.
And they pay pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, they pay, if you have, Medicaid, Medicare is where you need the signatures. That's why you see aging there. You do see some aging with Medicaid. They might pay a little bit slower than Medicare.
Yeah, like Medicaid doesn't have anything for 60 days and above.
Yeah.
But Medicare does.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to mention, I know you have a full agenda. Have you ever checked into the Medicaid supplemental payment for the state of Minnesota? So I wanted to mention this because when I looked at how much Medicaid you have, it actually makes sense for you to probably do this. So if you annualize the Medicaid, your Medicaid is, let me see if I'm trying to find it here again. Anyway, if you annualize it, I think would be around 25,000 in Medicaid payments, right? So the supplemental Medicaid program is a program, this sounds weird, but you only get about 50% of your Medicaid payment. That's what they usually pay. Well, that other 50% you don't get paid. It's an adjustment or essentially a write-off, but they call it, that adjustment's the write-off term in the insurance law. So you adjust it off, right? So the state of Minnesota set up this program with the federal government, where if the city pays half of that 50% that wasn't paid, and then the federal government will actually match that and pay the other 25%. So essentially, you're sending a check to pay yourself back so that you can get a 25% check from the federal government that covers part of the Medicaid payment. So if you do that, it seems like you can make about $6,000
Just from Medicaid.
just from the federal government.
Is there any expense or cost to us to sign up for this?
No, it's managed by a lady named Caprice Stark with the Department of Health and Human Services. I talk to her all the time.
Is that something that you could help us get set up with, or you could set us up
And
on
it's
it?
no cost to us.
No cost.
I think it's well worth it.
I think so.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I didn't know
awesome
about that.
news.
That takes a little bit of the sting out of the write-off.
Well, when
Yeah,
you-
even if, I mean, if we get a third of the, or a fourth of the write-off back,
That would
it's
be-
significant.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like you would, that's my
Would help in budgeting.
calculation. It seems like that's what it would be, but I mean, she does the actual calculations, but what I can do is whoever needs to get connected to her, I can just send you an email and
Just
copy that person.
work with Sarah Joe on that, because I know nothing about the ambulance billing, and so she'll probably have questions that I can't answer, and so for me to try to refer that back to her, and it just would not, it would be cloudy. So-
Will you stay on top?
Yeah,
of
I
it?
got it on my list right here, so.
So you use Elite, right? State of Minnesota Elite. That's an industry I'm familiar with also. So this DHS department's able to pull the Medicaid information out of Elite. So what they do is they put together a draft report, which just happened. We got about 100 of these in our inbox. They put together the spreadsheet, they send it to you, and you just forward it to us and we review it and put the numbers in for you.
Nice.
And then we send it back to you, and then you send it back to her, and then she sends you a letter saying, here's what you qualify for, and then you get a check.
Okay.
Is that
Nice.
some
Cool.
stuff that Sarah Jo
That's
would be able to teach me how to do, so that way we can take it away from her?
I don't
I mean-
think that's something that you should do.
Okay,
That's finance.
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know for
That
sure. I
needs
was
to
just
be
like, I
in
know
that
how you.
office.
No, that's fine. Sarah
Okay.
Joe
You can handle it.
No.
So how far back, Brian, can you, let's say we got signed up in 30 days, can you go back to the January 1st, or can you go back to when
Here's
the invoice was originally initiated, or how does that work?
Or when
here's
we
the,
become,
Here's the thing
member.
you'd have to ask Caprice,
Maybe.
is they usually, so right now, this year, they just paid for the 2020 numbers.
Okay.
So next year,
Wow.
they
So
paid
2
for the
years.
2021
So
numbers.
2 years.
2-year lag.
Well,
But
that's,
I think you should ask her if there's
We
any
can
way.
backdate it.
Yeah, I think it's worth doing that.
I mean, you have to work directly with her. I'm not allowed to really represent the
So-
service, although we do review all the information.
my question is, we submit it, we send a check for 50%, and then we wait 2 years?
You send a check for 25%, and then you wait to get paid back.
So we pay up front and then wait for 2 years.
That's kind of how
It's the federal government. You
Yeah.
ever
Yeah,
know
we're
what
working with
fast?
entities that are,
Tony, you think about that.
Yeah, we'll connect.
Crunch some
And-
numbers and get back.
we'll just talk about it.
Yeah,
and see.
I'll just, and maybe I'll ask her for some people that are using it, and maybe I'll just reach out to them and talk to
Yeah.
them and see.
Yeah.
Good
Because if
idea.
we have to have it on our books for 2 years and then come back, it seems
Well,
like
we're
mess,
paying it,
right?
and then,
Basically, they're using your money.
yeah,
Yeah, they get.
Well, my
What do you think
concern
banks
is
do?
not so much even that, but it's like,
that's true.
remember what happened when they promised us LGA at a certain amount, and then they decided that they weren't gonna give us that amount, and then what happened with all that stuff too, so. Yeah, I'll connect with Brian and Sarah and I and Brian will talk to
Better than
Caprice and
writing
figure-
off.
it's always a catch.
Yeah, but it's still
Always.
better than writing off.
Yes,
Well,
they
yeah.
don't move fast.
I just don't like that we have to send the
Set
money
initial
and then
hurdle.
they sit on it.
Correct, I agree.
It's not like we have all
You
kinds
might
of
want
money.
to ask her, I'm not positive, you might actually agree to it and then not send the money until they process it.
okay.
I'm
That-
not sure.
That would make a lot more sense.
That would be better.
Yeah.
That's the way the world goes.
Checks in the
That
mail.
would make sense.
All right.
So,
Okay,
so
great.
I just wanted to give you that update. We're just getting rolling, so
Okay.
we'll really start to see trends here
And we're still on the agreed fee per run.
Same everything.
So do we wanna switch the mailing address to their address then?
Good question.
Is that still the same price or?
Same price, so what we,
I think it's a no-brainer.
I do too, because otherwise we're,
I mean,
Doing
we're,
two things.
yeah, we're still
I agree.
messing with it.
yeah, we still have to,
I mean, there's gonna be some stuff to do, but I mean, it seems like you're doing,
Yeah, if you wanna do
Three
that,
things
once
to
again,
make
I
one
just ask
thing
that
work.
you motion it so that we have.
I'll make a motion to make the return or the mailing address to expert billing,
To remit.
or remit address to expert billing.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Chad, seconded by Jason to have all checks sent to expert billing.
just
Any
keep
other discussion?
in mind, you'll still get some.
Some, right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
the
that's
insurance companies sometimes.
it'll be better.
right,
Sorry.
but that's better than all of them.
It'll be a work in progress again.
Yeah, and we have to go in and it takes us a little time to send all the paperwork to all the payers to change the address. That takes.
Sure.
Okay,
So,
any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Excuse me.
I'll make a motion that we accept the ambulance report.
I'll second that.
Perfect.
Motion by
Thank you,
Chad.
Brian.
Thank you,
seconded by
Brian.
Lauren
Thank you.
to approve
Thanks,
the
sir.
ambulance department rate. Thanks, Brian.
thank you.
Any other discussion? Did you get the first and second?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Have a great night.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Did we need to, is this just information, Tony, about the ambulance CPR fee?
Yeah, that was just went along with the discussion.
Okay, so you're gonna wait until the next meeting then?
We'll approve the fee schedule next week.
Okay.
Okay, we have a lot of reports here that we need to sift through for financials, and then we need to decide if this is what we want to see each month. It's quite a bit of information. So let's look at January. You have budget, year-to-date revenue and expenditure. It's not a bad report. It's got the revenue and expenses right on it. Apparently this is is this the one that was used before?
So these three reports are the reports that Wayne pulled for every council meeting.
The cash balances too,
I think he did those quarterly.
and the GL yearly?
It's GL general ledger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
general ledger.
So pretty much for each month, you've got 3 different reports here. What do you want them all?
You let me know and I will give you what you want. But this is just, I looked back when Wayne was doing this stuff and these were the 3 reports that he
I'm
regularly
not too
put
concerned about
forth.
cash balance.
Mm-mm. No,
I could just do those like every quarterly if you wanted to just keep an eye on
Or is
stuff.
there a way to have them, not say shorter, but just less detail and
I can probably make the report any way you guys want it. I just have to do a little.
I think, I don't think we need the cash balances, and I really don't think we need the GL yearly,
Okay.
I
monthly
agree.
either.
I agree.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Guys,
Do you think the revenue expense report is a good report?
I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
No.
If you, let's just, for
We'll get
example,
used to it.
yeah, if, for example, you
30
look,
seconds.
yeah. Let's just pick on the ambulance
Okay.
department here. Ambulance, you've got your revenue right there,
Let's make sure we're on the same one.
right there.
Got it.
And then right below it, you've
Yeah,
got the
correct.
expenses.
Yep.
And you should have a department balance.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
That's all right.
You okay, Jody?
I'm fine.
Well, what I like about the report is it tells you the percent of budget that's left for
Yeah.
the rest of the year. I think that's like one of the most, unless you have a large expense,
Right.
and that sticks out, which may bring up a question, but you have the percent of budget remaining for the year, and I think that's important to know.
Yeah. I personally like the report.
Okay.
Yep.
So then from here on out, I will give you just this first report, and if you ever want to see the other ones, just let me know before the meeting, and then I'll do that.
Sure.
I got a question.
Probably budget time.
Mine isn't too detailed, but mine's kind of the process. I noticed in quite a few of the columns of each department, you had operating expenses, and then right below it was repairs and maintenance, and then vehicle operation, vehicle maintenance. Why is there a separate operating expense?
Because that's the
versus-
way that it was set up prior to me being here.
Yeah.
So basically, from what I understand is vehicle expenses are basically your vehicle operations is your fuel.
Okay.
Vehicle expenses is your repairs, tires,
Okay, makes sense.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then operating expenses is kind of a catch-all for anything that is not necessarily a budget code that you could use to run the department. So like,
Oh, I'm thinking, I'm thinking operating like in vehicle wise.
no.
Gotcha.
It's but, so
Makes more
basically, like when we had to buy that ammunition for the police department back when I was on there, I didn't have quite enough for there. Well, technically, that ammunition helps the department operate as far as training and everything else, so that could be a qualified.
I was looking at it as like a mechanical type.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because if you look here, vehicle operation, that should be gas and,
Yep, oil.
okay.
All makes sense now when he said that when operating wasn't vehicle wise.
Okay, so obviously, hopefully you've all had a chance to look at January and February. I know that these have been approved before with, but found errors.
Yes.
So I guess I would suggest we approve them as revised.
Yeah, just so you're aware, the things that I did after I kind of did some digging, Gail found like that there was some money spent with the council in January that the council didn't get paid in January, so we tried to figure that out.
Right.
Long story short, it was some ambulance stuff that Chad was paid for that got coded wrong. So that got changed, and then when I started to look, I did a little digging further, and half of the police department's part-time employees their money was being paid under full-time, half of them were being paid under part-time. So that was so I went through and I corrected all those things, journal entered everything back to the correct position. So the percent of budget should be correct and the year-to-date balances should be correct. You may see a weird negative number in some category, and that's just me journaling that out and putting it into the proper spot.
For the specific one,
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna look weird, but at the end, the numbers are correct, and I'm fairly confident that January and February are as good as they're going to probably get at this moment.
I feel the same way, Tony. I think you've done a good job of going through it. Our battle for the last year and a half has been coding.
Yeah.
So I
Yep,
think we've
and I've
got a
already-
handle on it.
Since Sarah Jo and I have switched up, now whenever she gets everything ready to go for checks, I'm pulling everything up and I'm going through it, and we've already caught like 6 different issues. So that's helping a bunch getting this coded correctly.
Which will help us at budget time.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
I
So have you been
appreciate that.
using the CPA firm less?
I haven't talked to them other than I sent him a few spreadsheets to try to figure out how to get this payroll mess into Fund County. I haven't talked to anybody there except for Tom, and he hasn't gotten back to me because they had a busy week last week.
Well,
No, I
getting-
think that's good. I mean, that makes me feel better about
Yes, and,
expenses we shouldn't have to
and
spend.
getting these reports right this year
Yeah.
is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
make the
Yes.
audit much easier.
Yes, and so another thing that I've been adamant about doing, and it's maybe just the way that I'm thinking through the process, but I'm trying to code everything as it should be, so that you may see a category that's over budget, but at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, if the departments are black at the bottom line,
Yes.
that's where we need to be. So, like, we didn't have anything budgeted for training for the admin department, but I've been putting my training. I've been putting it, so that when we go next year to budget, we can look back and say, this is what we've actually spent, this is what we planned. So we will be over budget in certain categories, just so that you know that ahead of time. It's just that we just need to make sure that the black at the bottom is the same.
And we absolutely need to see those negative numbers so that we know how to budget.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
I've got 3 report format questions
Sure.
and then 2 process. When it says government-wide on the top of it here, what does that government-wide mean versus these?
It's all revenue. It's
Oh, it's
taxes,
revenue. Got it.
franchise fees.
Yeah,
That's all I needed. On
those are the miscellaneous revenues.
February 2022, you got franchises, but they don't say which one. They got the number in front of it. Yeah, I presume one's XL, one's Midco, and one's
Give me the page.
page 1 of the February 2022 budget year-to-date revenue expense, right up to the top on government-wide revenue.
Oh, franchise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any way we can get it, or you have a
Probably
cheat
not, but let me
if you gave us a
just,
cheat sheet that
I will
shows
make
what
a
numbers?
cheat, I'll make a cheat sheet so that I can tell you what those are.
Yeah, so the number will
Yep.
tell us what franchise it
Yep,
is. Okay,
yes.
got that one.
You're just curious on what we're getting for each one.
Well, I just didn't know who was.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah, and they should all be pretty close to the same,
and there was
but I'll make a note here.
one or two more on the format. Just trying to think here now. Trying to see it. I have it listed down. I just gotta find it again.
Need a highlighter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the next one is, it's
That's mine.
a dollar amount. I think I saw the gravel and rock on, streets
This
in
February?
twice on February 2022, page 5.
He had to get, yes,
Was it
so,
two loads?
Sarah Jo said I was gonna get this question too, and I forgot why. But, yes, it was two different loads, they're
Okay.
paid at two different times. So that's what that is,
Just wanted
yes.
to make sure.
Oh, and your stamp question, I can answer that one for you too. A couple weeks ago, we had the double billed stamps, remember? So Sarah told me that since they accidentally printed that second check for stamps, Michelle told her, go ahead and get a roll of stamps because we're gonna use them anyway. So that's why there was 2 checks for stamps now.
That's fine.
And we just bought a bunch of stamps for the fire department, because stamps are going up in price.
July.
So we bought the
They
forever.
don't
61
spoil, they're not like
cents.
milk.
Still the best delivery system in the country. The cheapest. Maybe not the most efficient, but the cheapest.
All right. Great explanations, Tony.
Yeah, thank you. So, just a question for point of order here. Can we approve both of these together, or do you want separate motions for each one?
I don't have a problem with you approving both of them with one motion.
I
As long
would,
as the
I
mayor's
would
okay with
just,
that.
I would just state both.
Yeah.
In one motion.
I move to approve January and February 2022 revised, I wasn't done yet, financials.
Second.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Chad to approve January, and February revised financials.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
welcome.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, and then you're gonna eliminate those other reports.
Yes, I will.
Now where are we at?
All right, Metro DocuWare proposal.
Okay, so Metro, just, you asked me to clarify some things with Metro, so I talked to them. Long story short, if we choose to do if we choose to pay yearly, what they would do is they would decide, or they would start building out our stuff. There would be no costs to us, and then they would go to implement it after the first of the year. So it would be, we would just be billed the 3630 plus the 1850 at the beginning of 2022, but they would already have all the system built and ready to go, so implementation would be much shorter. He also gave me 2 additional quotes. If we wanted to go a monthly route, it would be $358 a year if we chose to do 3 years, and it'd be $390 a month if we chose to do 5 years. And I know that seems weird because I thought if you signed a longer contract, it would be cheaper, but he explained to me that they finance it, so the 5 year we'd be paying some more finance fees that would cost a little bit more.
There we go. That's where I was wondering that.
Where's the 3-year?
You don't have it in your packet, I just got it before, the meeting,
You
so,
said 358.
358, yep, and then 390 for the 5 year, and that's a monthly expense. So it's up to you, the only thing we would get for, you already talked about the document scanning, the whatever, we'd have to sign a 5-year contract to get that, so.
To put the stuff in the cloud.
No, for them to do you already said the free $500 worth of scanning
Yeah.
or whatever,
Okay.
that's only included if we sign the 5-year contract. So, I don't think it makes sense to lock us into a 5-year contract, I think that's too much. So, I guess I will leave it up to you, I will tell you this, I do have a meeting Wednesday with the Smart Search people from Coordinated, they wanted to come talk with us and kind of just give us a idea of what's going on. This guy from Metro is contacting me like every other day, so I'm kind of not in a real big hurry to get back to him. So if you want me to do my meeting with Coordinated and find out what their similar product is and kind of just give you, because if nothing else, if Coordinated can do something similar for $2,500, but not give us the same bells and whistles that Metro does, then at least we know that that $3,600 that Metro's giving us is a right figure.
Yeah, I think we need to give them the opportunity to tell us what they can provide.
Who's got our copiers now?
Metro,
Metro.
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah. But Smart Search, or Coordinated Business Systems does our Smart Search, so that's the invoice, we scan all the invoices into a searchable PDF format, so that if we're ever looking for something, we can search stuff and.
And Metro doesn't have an equivalent of it?
That's what this is.
Oh,
But we're paying $1,850 a year for Smart Search right now, this would be double that.
gotcha.
But it moves everything into the cloud, unlimited storage, it's all backed up 10 servers, so that, I mean, right now, if a fire happened or a server got damaged or something, we would lose everything that we had.
Remember, there was,
Yeah.
if we went this route, we didn't need the unit in the
Right.
office.
So if you wanna wait, I would just ask that somebody makes a motion to table it till the next meeting.
I'll make a motion that we table it to the next meeting till we hear from Consolidated.
Smart Search.
Yeah, consolidated business systems.
Second.
Motion by Jason, seconded by Chad to table the Metro DocuWare proposal.
Is that the 18th?
For more information, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. And I would just let Metro know that you'll contact them
Yep.
instead of them
Only
hounding
you.
you.
I must work on commission.
You know that's what it is.
You might be their only customer.
Pretty big outfit.
All right, St. Olaf Lake concession stand.
I have kind of sort of exhausted my options as far as restaurants go. I know that with the information that Dean was back in the hospital again with the red leaf.
Yeah.
I talked to Travis today for about half an hour and he's got too much stuff and doesn't think he can make it work. Evans Eatery wasn't entirely interested in doing the stand. Both Travis and Dan said that they might be interested in having their food truck out there a night or two over the summer, but they wouldn't really want to formally commit to anything. So the other option we have is the lifeguards could sell stuff out there. I spoke with Sarah Berry and there's kind of two options, and one is just doing prepackaged stuff, and she said the U.S. Department of Agriculture would license that, but she had no idea what the costs or fees would be. The only problem I have with that is it kind of limits us to what we are able to even do out there.
Prepackaged, that would not be
Couldn't heat
microwave.
anything, you couldn't
No.
do anything, I mean, it would be simply.
Freeze
here's
pops
the
and
pack.
Snicker
Yeah,
bars.
basically, yes.
Soda. But that's, I don't know, if I'm a kid out there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't want a full rib dinner. I want a freeze pop and a bag of popcorn or chips or
Right.
something. That's what I would want.
Snack bar.
But the other thing is, with this, you could do nachos and cheese, or you could do, that kind of stuff, or things
Sure.
like that. So, basically, it looks to be like it's gonna be about $175 to get that license. Both Sarah Jo and I have had restaurant experience. It would take us just a test to get our food manager's license, and we can run the concession stand under either one of us. And but we talked about it today, and both of us are open to doing that if that's what you guys want to do. It wouldn't take much at all. Be just a quick inspection and pay for the license, and then we can choose to do those hours.
You talk about the lifeguard staff. How many lifeguards do we have?
Well, so we picked up 2 more, so
Okay.
we're
Nice.
gaining some staff.
Okay.
So Sarah and I kind of talked through it, and our hope would be that we would run like 3 lifeguards or maybe 4 during lesson time, and then 3 of them would be in the water and 1 would be in the concession stand, and then every hour they kind of rotate through, so they all got an hour break running the concession stand and not having to be in the water and not having to be in the sun, and kind of just keep that
That's a great
going
idea.
out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I guess my recommendation to the council would be to go ahead and get the limited food license, run it under either Sarah, Joe, or myself. Probably me, because Sarah's got enough on her plate. And then we'll figure out how to we still have a Sam's Club membership, so we can go buy limited amount of stuff to get us through and.
Would we still have to look at hours to keep you from going overtime? I mean, not you.
All I would do would just hold the food manager's license that the state would look at.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No time, no energy, no nothing. It just means that I would be the one responsible for any violations that would happen.
You just manage and run it.
Be nice if Sam's Club would deliver. So we're
Well,
not
they do.
making.
To be completely honest, we've got people going, Sarah Joe's in Mankato all the time. I have a Costco membership and I go to Costco all the time, so I don't see it being an issue with
They
Okay.
do deliver.
getting stuff. Yeah, Sam's Club probably would deliver. They probably would ship for free,
I can, yeah.
Might be something to check on.
so.
Pop,
Yeah.
do you just get in contact with like Pepsi or somebody?
Yeah, we can try
There
that.
is a Pepsi cooler in there, I don't,
Yeah.
Check with, Quad Cities.
Yeah, Dan would have an idea.
Cause I
where
think
got
they
stuff.
come every Tuesday,
Okay.
if I remember right.
Yeah, but so that's my recommendation, and we just go from there. I think I would just ask the city to cover the fees, and I think the test for ServSafe was like $30, and I think the food manager's license is like 25, or it'd be less than $100 for the licensing, and then up to $200 for the food license.
You get a lot of stuff from Hermal too, when they deliver, so.
Yeah, yeah. But I think we need to keep it open. We want to keep people there. We want people to have a good time. We want people to be able to be out there. And I guess I'm always I mean, I would love to, if we can get a food truck out there every other Saturday or something like that and just kind of.
For variety.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep
Yeah.
going. But I think at least this way the kids that get done swimming lessons, they're going to want to have a pop or a ice cream cone or something like that.
Frozen.
So.
I'll make a motion that we apply for the limited food license, is that what you called it?
Yep.
And then it'll be up to $200 total for your.
Up to $300 total for the license and the training.
I'll make motion up to $300 for the license and the training of the San Juan concession stands.
I'll second that.
Motion by Chad, seconded by Jason. You've got the language. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Well, I'm thrilled to hear that means you got about 7 now, huh?
I might have 8.
Nice.
And
Excellent.
I think as we start kicking, we might get more, so.
I think
Swimming
raising the
lesson-
price might have helped, excuse me, I'm just gonna say,
Oh,
raising the rate might have
wage.
helped.
Yeah, well, and I think there were a few people that said, oh, I'm gonna do that, and their friends were like, oh, well, that'd be a good idea, so I think we're kind of getting some of that too.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
They can hang out.
I forgot.
Okay.
Must
That
not
wasn't
be
important then.
No. All right, coffee maker.
I just wanted to bring this back up again, and the reason I did is that we have an election coming up here, and we've got quite a few of older people who donate their time, don't get paid, they don't take the election judge pay that they want, but they like to have decaf coffee, and to make 30 cups of regular and 30 cups of decaf just to skirt around that doesn't make sense, and I think that, we have the ability to do that and reward people that work here, so. Plus, I think it would be nice to have it available if we have community events or if the council has something on the agenda that they would like to have people there. It's a lot easier to do, a 12-cup thing of coffee than to burn 30 cups and dump half of it out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
My only concern is if we rent the room out, the kitchen out, and people don't know how to use it.
that is,
And they forget to shut it off.
that's completely up to the council. I don't have a problem with it being put in the back room and only allowed for.
I'm in favor of this. Actually, we have one. Joe has one,
Mhm.
but it's tricky.
Yeah, well, no, I don't disagree with you.
It's a
I think it's something that
reservoir.
if we're gonna let people use that who use the community room, there's just gonna have to be a list of instruction, and it's gonna go on that checklist, and if it's broken, it's gonna be part of your deposit.
Yeah, it comes out of the deposit.
So,
The only thing, like I said before, what I like to see, you get metal pots instead of the glass ones in case those glass ones break really easy when they hit that tile
And we can
floor.
put pictures on the wall.
yeah, I mean, it's not a big
Yeah,
deal. It would
they
take
got
a few seconds to whip something up, but I just think we're renting it for a significant cost. Like $125 is a significant cost for somebody to rent something like that for a meeting. So it'd be nice to be able to have that
Well, I think the rental fee going towards paying for this or
Well, I think
offsetting the
if you
cost
take
is
the
worth it.
$25 and put that towards like a capital account for repairs and replacement of stuff.
Yeah.
So silverware, things like that, I think, it's well taken care of. So that's my request.
The 1375, is that a maintenance or
What was that?
a 3-year plan? The 1375 or whatever that number is?
1375.
You got some
On the
numbers.
top row, second number from the end.
Your scribble.
You have machine pots equals 304.99, and then you have
Oh, 3-year service plan.
service.
I just wrote that on there. Is that included in the price?
No, I don't think so. Shipping is.
9.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it
the
is.
321.24 is the price without the 3-year plan. The 339.99 is the price with the 3-year
I see
plan.
that.
Oh, there, okay.
Yeah, that's why I don't write much. That's why I type most of those things in the memo, because you can't read my writing. I just didn't know, I know that in the past you asked for service plans on computers and stuff. I didn't know if it made sense to do. To put it in perspective, the last one we bought was half this price, and it was junk, so.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the coffee maker for the community room as delineated in this sheet.
With
or
replacement
without?
plan or
Yes,
not?
with replacement.
So at a cost of 339.
$339.99.
I'll second that.
Motion by Jason, seconded by Chad to approve purchase of the coffee pot with maintenance plan for $339.99. Any other discussion?
I suppose you want a motion to buy coffee for it too now.
We'll just take care of that at the Wagner's.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
You can get the coffee next year.
Now, as far as the coffee, we don't leave the coffee so
It's
that,
locked up in the cabinet.
okay. So we're not buying.
No, we're not gonna provide anything to,
Only for city functions?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, April accounts payable, it's called check summary register.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering why that was sitting in here like this.
I thought I forgot to look at it when we had things. I got one. How come there's 0 for page 2 for diesel mechanic labor? It says 0 for the check written,
For the generator?
generator system service.
Because
Must
the
be-
League of Minnesota Cities wanted them to come do an inspection. And so they did the inspection, sent us the bill, we're supposed to send it to League of Minnesota Cities. The checks were issued, but before we mailed them out, we got notice that we weren't supposed to pay for that, so Sarah took it out, and so that's that.
Basically voided check.
Yes, yes.
Down with, on the 3/4 of the way down, it says 3967 SHI International Corp for office.
That
What's
is,
that?
that is our, Microsoft Office and email.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, makes sense, office. I was thinking office like that office. Office 365 you were talking.
Where are you looking?
3/4 of the way down, SHI International Corp, underneath Quill.
Holy moly.
The bill for the fire relief, that was for the actual association, right, for the,
Point to me which page we're looking
it's
at.
on
Oh, somebody
page
needs to
2,
explain why we
halfway
do
down,
that.
after Wick and Myers, 3190.
It's all our office stuff.
Yes.
That was for their actual, their
Their audit.
retirement, their audit, not the gambling audit,
Relief Association audit.
the relief association audit, okay, because the gambling is, they can pay for their own.
Yes, correct.
And they should, they
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Okay.
Tony, back to that SHI.
Yep.
Are you serious? This is what we pay a year?
No, so what happened was we had a billing representative and then he left and they didn't do such a very good job of keeping up on sending us annual invoices. So they missed us for a year and yeah.
So what's the
that's-
annual cost?
Huh?
What's the annual cost then?
I'd have to look at the most current.
Right
Thing that
around,
we
right
show
around
up.
1,600 then?
So you're talking this is 2 years worth?
It's a portion of well, it's kind of like a year and a half.
And this is absolutely something we have to pay for?
It covers, it's all of our email and all of our office software for
Like
mine, Sarah Joe, the police department and maintenance.
Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint.
Because you can't buy just the standalone stuff anymore. You have to buy it as a subscription.
Yep, in cloud.
Yep, and so that's it. So long story short, I am waiting for an itemized statement from them
That'd be great.
to try to figure out, because I think that we got billed more than we should have been billed, but I can't for sure find that out until I have a statement, because I can go back and look at all our records, but without having something to qualify on their
So
end, I can't.
we paid this without a statement?
No, we paid with the invoice.
Oh,
But what I'm saying
but
is
it
I think they
wasn't
doubled,
itemized.
I think they doubled up on invoice is what I think happened.
Ugh, all right.
Because, so it's a 3-year contract with Microsoft. That's how they do their contracts. And you can't buy it directly from Microsoft, you have to buy it through a purveyor, so that's SHI. So when they sent us, so it was approved in 2019, so all the invoices that they sent us said 2019 contract. So they didn't issue a new number, they just sent us the next bill. So when I go back in the system, all I see is that I can't see the actual invoice number. So I'm trying to get a itemized statement from them of what got billed.
Gotcha. I got another one on the, 2 of them on the front page.
Okay,
Ancon, freight cost missed on payment. It's
Ooh.
3/4 way down,
888, that one?
right underneath the $18,000 one.
freight cost missed on payment. I can't answer that one for you.
Okay, then the
What
next
is
one.
Ancom?
Incom is our radio
Okay,
Radio
provider.
the next one.
That could have been from something that happened with the water tower when we had that problem, when the water came out. I don't know for sure.
The next one's down below Midco, MNDNR Eco Waters, the MNDR Pyramid. What's that for?
That was probably the permit to spray the swimming area for weeds.
Gotcha, okay. Wow, a permit? Just.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you can't do anything
Can't do
environmentally
anything with
without
the lake. Yeah.
rivers, streams,
Yeah,
lakes.
but still, just a
swamps.
permit, 190.
Did you get the garbage situation
I
figured out?
believe so. That's another thing. We were discussing where we put the fees from collection from the other day, if it should go into the garbage contract or if it should go into maintenance. So I'm working on all that.
Oh, okay,
So.
all right.
The payments that we're paying to the care center, have we been reimbursed for any of that? That $79.39
We get that, should be getting
Once
it
a
every
every
month.
month? Have we gotten any
Should
of
be.
them?
Was it?
It should be going, you should be seeing it somewhere in the revenues, that side.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll look again.
when I sign the care center checks.
Yeah,
I
we always
see
get a
that.
check coming back.
Okay.
Stay on top of the, in lieu of taxes from last year,
Oh, it wasn't done last year?
and I think
Oh.
they agreed
Yes, they did.
to go back and pay those.
Cause I have it ready for July, but I didn't know that last year's wasn't, so.
I talked to Sarah Joe about it because I think it was invoiced.
And then not paid.
And then we gave them some grace on, okay, here's the invoice, but
Okay.
pay it when you can.
Yeah, well, they switched finance people,
Yeah.
they had some other
I'll
things
just work
going
with
on.
Lindsay, we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, so I'd check on that one.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? on
Yeah,
that?
and the page 2, the second one, Waseca County property, that's property tax. What are we paying property tax on?
It's for, I don't know which one that was for.
Okay.
It might be for that chunk of land that the care center had. It might be,
We shouldn't be
yeah,
paying.
no, I agree with that, but there was some argument over who was supposed to pay for that. I don't think that that's the one, but there was 3 other properties and I can't remember which ones they are off the top of my head.
Okay.
But they
Find
were,
that out and then make sure that we are not paying for the care
oh,
center.
no, yeah.
We shouldn't be paying any property tax on any of our properties.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we are.
I don't know. School board doesn't. I don't think. They don't pay.
No, they do, they pay a share. We pay property tax twice a year,
I can't remember why.
cause it's the county's share.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess we would pay the county share.
Well, check on that
Yeah,
one.
we don't pay our own share.
Anything else?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
I make a motion to accept this report as delineated. That's a big word.
You need
I'm
more
not
accounts
repeating
payable.
that.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jason, seconded by Chad, what he said. To approve the April check register. Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. No, that's the month. Mhm. Yep. Alrighty, city park bathrooms.
Long story short, we can't open the bathrooms. There's too much stuff that needs to be repaired and fixed in order to use them as ordered. I did check in a handicap accessible porta potty is about $155 a month. I would suggest that the council authorize that so that we can get that here. Probably we'd look to have it here for Memorial Day, before Memorial Day weekend.
Could
That's
we,
what we've done in the past.
I was
could we
gonna say-
develop a plan to,
Eric and I are working on it
Maybe
already
demolish
with
it
our
and-
capital plan.
okay, that's what it's gonna, because $155 a month.
Yeah, but we figure it would be
Yeah, I understand why it's
to
gonna
the
be.
tune of probably $5,000 to get everything kind of fixed up.
And then it probably just get vandalized again anyway.
I mean, it was an ongoing vandalism.
But I think we, talking between Josh and myself and Eric, we think that the problems that have caused that in the past have gone.
It moved
We don't
on.
believe that there would be as much of a liability now to fix that up. But we also all do not agree that that current building is the building that's right
Oh,
for
I think it should be.
for that. Yeah. We talked about putting on a capital plan, putting up a very small stick-built shed with bathrooms in
Or a
it.
splash pad.
All kinds of things. But yeah, so at this moment in time,
Need a
that
gazebo.
is my
So-
recommendation.
So we're looking at May
Need a
through,
band shell.
when did we pull that out last year?
After
October?
Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend probably.
So this would be about 4 months, 5
Yeah.
months.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Chad, seconded by Jody to approve renting a handicap porta potty at $155 per month. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Security camera for parks.
So just getting back to those preventing damage and stuff like that, I did some checking and for about $200 a location, we can have a 4-camera system to help protect against things like vandalism and such.
How many
It's all
locations?
It's all, huh?
How many locations?
Well, if
Four.
we choose to put them in every location, I would say St. Olaf concession stand, Legion Field concession stand, and then the park bathrooms.
Yeah.
So all of those have secured buildings where we can store the recording portion that aren't accessible to the public. And I just feel that if you want an insurance policy per se to protect those items, that would be a good way to.
Are these gonna be accessible to rec for somebody that?
Well, they always are.
Yeah.
It just all depends. The only nice thing about a camera system, depending on where you set it up, is that you should at least get it up to the point of it being wrecked and have a little bit, right now, if something happens, we have nothing to go.
Right.
At least this way, you might have a snippet or something, And my thought process is, I don't want to get into security details and give our whole plan out, but
No,
my plan for something like the Legion Field would be to take one camera towards each of the bathroom entrances, one out by the concession stand towards the front, and then one out the back towards the softball fields. We kind of have a whole kind of sort of gamut of stuff going on, and then it just DVRs and keeps recording until the last thing gets knocked off as it adds more stuff to it. And it's not gonna notify you when things are happening. It's one of those things where if you come in the next day, you're gonna have to go back and look at it, but it's just that I thought that if we're gonna spend the money,
Fix it.
I don't know if anybody's been out to Legion Field and check out the bathrooms and stuff. They're beautiful. They're in great shape. They
Yeah,
smell
we just
good.
stuck a lot of money into.
And I want to keep that safe.
Sure.
So-
Is it $200 everything, or
Yep.
is that
Per location.
installed though?
Per
Eric
location.
and Braden will install them.
So what's that gonna cost?
Whatever it
Just for
takes
every
them to
time?
do it, their time.
Yeah,
Well,
they're on
okay,
duty.
then-
It's part of the cost though.
we're paying them anyway.
Yeah, but if they weren't putting it in, then we would be paying for the
Yeah.
cost of putting it in.
So you're talking 3 locations.
So you need.
Well, I'm
6
not saying we have to.
We do, I think we should.
The city, the city park, I was thinking more if we had the bathrooms active, but when I talked to Eric about it, I'm like, So then we got eyes on we potentially have eyes on the playground equipment, we have potentially eyes on what's going on in the city sign and the park,
Yeah.
so.
Right.
it makes
Park is
sense.
part of good part too, though.
Yeah,
You know, that's the
So-
psychology of people feeling safe if they're,
If there's any
Being looked at.
bullying going on.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we have up to $600 for 3 locations of security cameras for the parks.
I'll second.
Motion by Jason, seconded by Jody to approve 3 locations of security cameras at about $200 each. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Council chamber technology upgrade.
Talked to a few of the regular people who attend via e-meeting, many times, depending on who's away from the microphones and stuff. I mean, even at your table, they hear Gail really well and Lauren and Jason pretty well, but sometimes Jody and Chad, they can't hear, sometimes they can't hear the speaker. So I just put together a real basic way that we could upgrade that really simply. I think the priority is the microphones, so I think while it would be very nice to have that camera that I put on there, I think that camera does work for what we need it for, and we can upgrade that in the future when we need to, but I really do feel that the microphone is a issue that we need to address so that these are being recorded too and saved, so that if we ever have something come up legally or anything like that, it's all taken care of, so that's, if you don't wanna do both of them, my suggestion would be at least to do the microphone. And then my plan would be to put 3 on your table, 1 there,
Mhm.
1 here, and then have the rest as backups in case any of those would fail.
And that's this that you're talking
Yep.
about?
Yep,
So we get,
you would get 8 microphones, so we basically have 3 spares.
okay,
The price difference between 4 and 8 was like $26 difference, so.
would you do the protection plan, Tony? 2-year or 3-year? I mean, doesn't seem like a lot of money. Is it?
I guess if we have 3 extra ones, I don't know that
Okay,
it's up to you guys.
So you're looking at which total here?
Well, if you wanna do the camera and the microphones, which I do think is the best thing, the camera is better, it's designed for this, and I can actually have a remote that I can turn it from you to the speaker and back to you guys or whatever we wanna do.
Okay.
That would be $375.
the ways of the world. I
And
still
that's
move.
for the camera and.
That's for the camera and the
That's
microphone,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I still move to spend this.
I'll second that.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Jody to approve purchase of the camera and microphones for the council chambers. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Before we go any further, I would just like to say, under the miscellaneous, I guess, is we have spent a great deal of time, research, and money on copiers, contracts, or outsourcing. Now, these kinds of things, I think we need to get back to spending some money on the ordinance, and I'd like to see us get going on,
What was that group that we were just here?
Yeah, we can't they won't approve us till their May meeting, so we won't have access to them till June 1st.
what's
But I
that?
mean, they're.
The lady
who spoke.
On them ordinances and stuff, that lady that was here.
Oh,
Which seemed like a really good deal.
yes, it
Absolutely.
does.
I think,
Well, I guess my point is, you know, we're doing great things in the building with the phones and the copiers and the technology and all of that, but let's get back to what we really need to get done as far as progress in the policies and the ordinances. That's my thing.
well, if I recall correctly, she was going to call us as soon as the meeting was over or contact you, and when they had time and how they could fit it in to begin looking at the ordinances.
I think she said her meeting was May 18th.
Was it the 18th?
Yeah, and she was supposed to invite me to the training that was I'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Okay,
I really want to see us get moving on those things.
Yeah.
That's my,
Oh, I agree, I
that's
agree.
my great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too. I have got to get this.
Well, you know, we're spending $300 here, $500, $600 here, and it's all upgrades that we need to do, but I think it's time we need to refocus and get back to the policies and things, so.
Yep, and I don't have a problem with that. Just remember that takes significant time. So if I have to devote that to that, then there's some other things that kind of just have to get pushed to the side burner. And I'm fine with that. if that's the direction
I
we wanna go.
understand that, Tony, I do understand that. It's not gonna be a quick,
Yeah.
we're gonna amend these ordinances.
Yeah.
But my frustration is we've been wanting to do this for a year and a half,
Yeah.
so.
That gets me thinking, do we need to kind of sort of look at those and give them, when they say they can do that for us, what we would like to see changed, and if it's a good idea?
Well,
They come
I
back.
would like to talk to her about what her expectations are. If they will do the whole rewrite, or if it's just they will help guide us. through the
Yeah, but I mean,
process.
what I'm saying is, if they say yes, do they want us to give them feeder stuff that says this is what we'd like? Or
Well, I
are we
think-
gonna give it to them and they tell us what we should do?
Well, even if I'm going to do it, I need to know what you want added that's not there, or clarified, or,
So would it be good to have a work session to look at ordinances before we even do anything?
yeah,
If they say yes?
yes, but if you're gonna do that, I would like to do one.
Yeah, I agree.
Pick an ordinance, let's do a work
One.
session on that, let's work through that whole thing from front to back,
Get the process.
Get it done.
and then let me work on that, and then pick the next one, and then we'll do that again, and then pick the next one, because otherwise, if we try to do 4 different
Oh,
things
yeah.
all at the same time,
No,
it's gonna be way confusing, so I don't know if the nuisance one is the one you wanna attack first, then let's do that one first.
so when
Well,
you say,
the ones we had picked out were the nuisance,
Rental ordinance,
the rentals,
animals,
the animals. The liquor is gonna be very minor, it's
Yeah.
just a matter of getting that 3-2 out of there.
but would that be the same process if they said yes? Correct.
I'm sorry. What was that?
you gotta go?
Yep.
Okay,
Would
Chad.
the
All right.
the process Tony said, is that gonna be the same regardless of whether she says
Yes.
yes or no?
Yes,
So we might as well
because
start,
we have to give her guidance.
we might as well start that process whenever we can.
All I would ask is please wait till June.
Okay.
Because I need to get this, I need to
It's
get payroll
remain.
into fund accounting to give you numbers for April, or for March and April. And if I can't do that, then we can't move forward on anything.
Gotcha.
So-
And then it'll be mid-year and we should have some mid-year numbers to see.
Well, my hope would be that we would have, if we do this correctly, that we would have everything ready to go for a public hearing by like August,
Sure.
maybe
Nice.
September, maybe
That'd be perfect.
September. So
I'd
maybe
be
August
happy
is,
with that.
maybe August is too early, September. And then,
Make September 1st our goal.
okay, and then, we would adopt them formally with hopefully, I guess at this moment in time, maybe it makes sense to have a January 1st, 2023. I don't know, maybe, unless there's some winter stuff that you want to attack.
Do we have to have a public hearing for each ordinance?
If we modify anything, yes.
Find out if we can have a public, do we have to do them individually? public?
I think we can do them all at the same time,
That would be nice.
but if you're gonna do that, I would suggest that you do that on a night, not at a normal council meeting.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Just simply ordinance.
Absolutely.
Good idea.
And what we'll do is we'll just open the meeting and say, right now, we're hearing stuff on this ordinance. And we'll let everybody speak, and then we'll go to the next one, and then let everybody speak. and go to the next one,
Perfect.
let
Don't we have
everybody
to publish them?
speak. Yes.
Yes.
Yep, that's a good idea.
But
Now,
we,
when we publish an ordinance, it was my understanding, I don't know where I got this information from a while ago, but it's my understanding that when we publish an ordinance now, we can do it in a summary.
yeah, it all depends on, a lot of it depends on the size of your town and what your reporting requirements
Yeah,
are.
I think we
So-
can, just a summary, which would be nice.
Yeah. I did talk to Clinton Rogers, and he's given me permission to plagiarize anything that they've done for ordinance. He just rewrote them during COVID. So they're all current and up to date, but,
That'd be great.
so we'll make that a priority.
I think I've heard a couple of comments on the council pay. I think that one needs to be reviewed as well.
Okay.
So I think there was 5, maybe that was make 6.
Mhm.
animal nuisance, liquor,
Rent.
rental.
Well, council pay, that's a fee,
Well,
isn't it? It's not set
no,
by
it's an
ordinance, it's in the fee
ordinance.
schedule?
Yeah, it's in the ordinance.
It's in the ordinance book.
Well, that's easy.
The issue is the work sessions. I mean, work
Oh.
sessions should be considered a meeting.
Okay.
And they're not. They're like $30.
Yeah.
So, we need, it's pretty minor.
Yeah, it's
When you
not,
look at the council pay, the liquor license, and probably the rental, probably gonna be pretty quick.
Yes. The nuisance and the animal one's gonna take time.
Okay,
You done with your miscellaneous?
maybe.
I got one that I thought of when he was here. Remember who he was talking about? We were talking about Medicare, Medicaid and all that stuff, and Lauren said it, demographics. I would like to see, and I'm thinking future-wise, see if we could have another survey taken to find out what the demographics of New Richland is, so that at budget timeframe, maybe we can sit here and at least in the back of our mind, what
Budget for
are we gonna
layouts.
plan for different people getting older or getting
Yeah.
younger?
Wouldn't that be in the census data?
It could be.
It could be, and
But
then
still.
also the care center did that study too, so that should give us some information too.
Tony,
care
how
center
about
has a
that?
good
How
I'd
about
still,
that?
I'd still like to have another survey sent out to see how they think.
Well, that Minnesota Council of Governments can do that stuff for us.
The, that sheet that I dropped off that was in the ambulance report that
Yep.
time,
That
that,
had some of that stuff in it.
it did,
Mhm.
yeah. So I would look at that as well.
Okay.
That had some of that information.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Administrators report.
All right, I have a whole bunch of stuff in there.
I
Yep.
wish you would do something while you're here.
Yeah. What have you been doing?
So, I tell you what, the staff meetings have been absolutely phenomenal. Just sitting there for that half hour that we get together on every week on a Monday, we have remembered all kinds of stuff that we've forgotten and been able to help each other about projects that we've been working on. So it has been just phenomenally awesome.
Nice.
I spoke with Jones, Hogg, and Smith. They're gonna update all of our maps with the current stuff that we have going on.
Cool.
We do have to pay $5 a map, but it's well worth the money to get it up there.
That's all we have to pay?
Yeah.
You know,
for the
that's
the
been a
cost of the
request
paper.
for a year
We've
too.
been working on that for more than a year.
I finally was able to file the COVID ARPA fund money report with the Department of Treasury. And the other day, so just to bring up speed, I spent the last 2 weeks prior to the 30th deadline trying to get in touch with anybody at the Department of Treasury, their IT department. I spent 2 days on call with them for an hour each, and after an hour, the phone hung up on me. And long story short, couldn't get through to anybody. The League of Minnesota Cities sent me an email on Thursday before the 30th that I was due saying, hey, your stuff's not in yet. And so I explained to them the whole thing with Michelle being the registered person and that I couldn't get into our account to file anything. And so then they told me, as I told you guys in the weekly review, that as long as we kept that number of the support thing that we sent, we got it. So long story short, on Monday when I got back in the office after the 30th, I was able to get in, they changed everything and I got everything filed. This week, I got a response from one of the emails that I sent the COVID support line, the IT department. And their comment to me was, next time you should do this a little sooner than you did this time. And I was like,
Yeah.
so I responded very politely and I said,
That would've been
after
so
2 weeks of trying to get a hold of somebody in IT and getting hung up on twice after being an hour, we finally got taken care of. I do not need any more assistance. Thank you.
Good.
Very,
That's that story.
very
Yeah.
well
I'd
put.
have told him something different.
Sarah Jo and I went to election training for the new assistance devices that'll be here for the thing. The transfer of deeds is complete on the EDA Cedar Point lot. I believe the total cost that we will bill back to the Pratts was just like around $500.
Oh.
So that's what they're gonna, for them, it's a win, I think, no matter
Yeah.
what.
that is-
Coordinated business systems, I did a phone consultation with them. I'm gonna meet with them again.
Back up, Tony.
Yep.
Slow down. Completed the transfer of deeds on the EDA Cedar Point. What
Oh,
does it-
sorry, not Cedar Point, that should say Homestake.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
that's my
I was
error.
gonna say, what does
Yep,
that have to do
No,
with
I
Yeah.
apologize.
When you said that, I go, what?
Homestake, I'm sorry, I typed fast.
it? Got it.
Met with Dan Murphy regarding building permits and processes. He would really like to see us do an increase in fees and stuff. he sent me some information, so I'm gonna be digging through that as well.
Are you gonna be meeting with him again?
I will, once we decide what we're gonna do.
Because this has been brought to my attention several times, and
It's a joke. That's
is
my-
there any way that we can have our building inspector tag some of these homes that are in tough shape and or have been stagnant from
We
getting?
could ask him to take a look at those, and if they choose not to do so, we could RFP for a new building inspector.
Would you please do that?
Mm-hmm.
I think we could provide probably 5 or 6 of them that need to be addressed.
Yeah, I can think of one
I
right
got-
off the top of my head right now.
I got 3 right off the top
Have
of
they
my head.
changed off of COVID rules on whether they come to your house yet?
They're
I'm
still
talking
doing,
about
they're
just
still
the
take-
outside.
he's talking about rental stuff, but they do that too. They're still having you submit photos. Yeah, so that should change the next year, but
Okay.
yeah, no, I can ask him, and if that's something that they either all refuse to do or don't wanna do, we can definitely RFP for a new building inspector. We don't have to use their services, we can find somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We just get, I don't know if you guys are getting any complaints, but
I get one.
I seem to be getting a few and they're repetitive and one of them is the condition of the home on the outside.
I have,
Well, lack of paint, or is it just?
no, nothing on the outside of the house.
Anything. No, it's
I,
not just paint.
when I redid my garage, I got a building permit, shingles, siding, all that stuff, windows. There was never a final.
No,
There never is a final
I've had
See,
3 or
and
4.
he should
I've never
not
had
get
one.
paid. They
until
should,
we have proof of a final.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I can tell Dan your concerns.
I upgraded my electrical, and the guy finally came, that's a whole different thing, 'cause that's
Yeah,
state.
right.
6 months it took.
Well, we have a property in town that's been like a 5-year process.
Yeah, I can definitely speak.
I
to
know.
So,
Met with a voluntary benefits company, reached out to me. It's similar to not Geico, Aflac and stuff like that, but it's not Aflac. So he's just gonna get back to me with the kind of I told him we didn't have any formalized plan for benefits, and so they're gonna just kind of look at something that maybe it's just a proposal, there's nothing that we have to do. Begin the review of the 2021 audit, that I gave a copy to you guys all to put yourself to sleep.
Blank pages.
Working with iSolves to get that CSV file done. The file's done, I just gotta figure out now how to import it, so we'll get that hopefully this week. Completed the board commission research, which you already approved. Completed ambulance payroll, attended the loss control workshop, and then I just wanted to pitch to you. I never understood where the trees came from. I don't know if you can tell me, Gail, can you tell me where the trees came from, or was that
that
just?
was after me.
Yeah, okay, so I just think that the trees don't really represent the city of New Richland.
Nope.
I don't know where those trees are, I don't know where they came from. It does look nice and it's great, but I thought, why not, in a time where we're kind of redoing everything, would it not be a cool idea to have our citizenry get involved in some sort of logo contest for the city of New Richland? So,
Yeah.
I presented this to you guys, this is kind of just a summary, so my thing would be to have this ready to go probably the end of this week if you think it's a good idea, and send it out, and then when we get submissions in, to put together something maybe on the walls here in City Hall for the community members to vote for.
Yeah.
During Farm and City Days.
I like that.
And then whoever gets the most votes, the 3 that get the most votes, or if there's a tie or something, we'll take those. And then the council, myself, and a couple department heads. And then I was thinking, Pam or Larry, or a couple of community members who are very active in the community to look at that. And then rebrand ourselves. We have a city sign that needs to be replaced in the city park. We have letterhead, forms, all this stuff. I think this is a great time to rebrand ourselves, to remarket ourselves.
Yeah,
And it's not gonna cost us hardly anything. I talked to the commercial club and just asked them if they would be willing to cover the prizes that I laid out in here, and they were very receptive to it.
Perfect.
So I think the commercial club would cover I wanna formalize that with them before I publish this out there, but I asked them if they'd be willing to throw in $100 New Richland bucks and pay for the sweater and whatever, and they said, yeah, it sounds like a great idea, so.
I,
Can we put the winner in the parade?
This would
No,
be
we
for
won't
next
have it.
year.
Oh,
Yeah.
next year.
Along with that, Tony, I had a discussion with an EDA member, and I don't know if anyone's aware that in 5 years, we'll be celebrating our 150th year, I believe. And we should maybe look at a 5-year progress plan of a celebration.
Sure.
I know a sign or signs is a big issue
Yep.
for town.
Yep.
One of the concerns that the CDA member shared with me was condition of homes and property. And if we can get people on board in town for a fix-up.
Yep.
I think we're too late this year. Paint the town or paint our town through.
Smith.
Yep. I think we're too late, but if we could get.
Over the next few years.
Yep, and provide that for people to spruce up their homes. The reason that conversation came up is because someone was driving through town and noticed that we have some areas that are
We do.
not so.
Yeah. I think
Somewhat blighted.
I think Tim Penny and his organization,
That's Smith.
That's Smith.
was that Smith?
Yeah,
Provides free paint.
that's the
That's
paint,
the
paint your
one.
town.
Yeah,
program.
Yeah, paint your town, I mean,
That's how they did the community room the first time.
oh, did they?
Mhm.
Okay,
Now,
Yeah.
I have a pamphlet of all that Tim gave me when I met
Oh,
with him.
okay.
I will bring that and drop it off.
Okay.
You can take it.
yeah, I think that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, and then, I think we need to come up with a 5-year plan so that by the time we hit that 150 mark, and Tony, your ideas here are great, the logo, the signs, everything.
Mhm.
Get some community involvement.
Perfect.
Sesquicentennial, I believe it's called.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
So along that's,
So if you want to approve the logo contest, that'd be wonderful.
So move.
Second,
motion by Lauren, seconded by Jody to approve,
third by Jude.
proceed with a logo contest for the city of New Richland. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Opposed? Carried.
3-0.
3-0. You might want to make a note in your minutes that Chad had.
I did, I wrote down the time that he left, yeah. Is there anything else?
I just want to mention one thing, unless Gail's got something. I'm on this committee called the Summer Burst, which I talked to Tony about. There's gonna be 3 concerts in the park this summer. One will be on
Our
Farm and City.
Music in the park,
Yep, Music in the Park.
Is it Saturday?
No, I think they're all.
Sunday
on
after the worship service, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one in June, one in July, and one in August.
perfect.
And they're also,
Food truck.
well, they're working on that. The committee's doing all of this stuff. There's really nothing anyone has to do.
What is the name of the committee?
Summer Burst.
Nice.
So, they've already talked to Tony basically, make sure the bathrooms are open and how we get garbage picked up and blah, blah, blah. So that's all really, good. Actually, what the committee did was had the marketing program at the school. Students could, create a poster, and Karen Krause, I don't know if you know who she is. She was an art teacher. Actually, she graduated with me from high school. She went up to the school. There were 7 kids who made posters. She selected 3, and so they're all considered first place winners. So I thought I'd have them by now so I could present them to you. But there'll be one poster will be advertised for the first one in June, and then hopefully at the next meeting I'll have copies and I can show you what they are. These were designed by the kids. They're really cool. And then we'll get posted around town. We're going to Heartland, Ellendale, Geneva, everywhere, Waseca, putting them in so we can get people here. It's a free will offering. The money that they got from the Southeast Arts Council or something like that is paying for most of this, pays for the cost of the singers, and they will also go to the Care Center to present to them also. They're singing at the Care Center, singing here in the city. I know the Willows will have the food truck there, I think, in June, but then July and August might be a little bit different. But they're working on that.
Nice.
So I think it'll be a great deal for the city. People to come out on a nice Sunday evening, afternoon, and listen to some good music. I don't know who these people are. I was at a meeting at 5:30 for this, but I just wanted to wait till I got the posters, but something you'll see that's happening, because advertisement will start soon for, I think the first one is June 12th. But I
Nice.
think it's really cool. I hope people just grab a lawn chair and come in.
I'm excited to see these kinds of things happen.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
people are thinking about doing these kinds of things, and we should welcome them and get people to come in. And
Just a word, Gaylord does Music on Main, and if you wanna talk to them or look at their Facebook page, you might get ideas.
okay,
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. They've been doing it for years.
They've got everything pretty much dialed in.
we're done.
The only question they had for me, kind of sort of, was if our city's liability insurance covered them, and they said as long as the city is a sponsor, and the sponsor could just be as simple as providing them space.
Yep.
Our liability insurance applies to them.
Perfect.
So, yeah, so that we already had that conversation, and she already talked to me. They were talking to Evans Eatery and the Willows and trying to get, I mean, I talked to Travis today, and he said he's not even got his food truck up and running, and he's booked solid through the summer.
And Evans Eatery, they don't like to have their truck out on Sundays.
Oh,
That's a family day.
Yeah, so they don't, I mean, and that's perfect.
That's admirable.
Yeah. So I think you're right, Tony, the committee,
Yes, I love it.
they're pretty well done, except for
Yep.
just wrapping up some minor things.
Yep, I have no problem supporting them with whatever they need, so.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool for the city.
The only thing that's.
I just wanted to share that. So,
You gonna hang out with me in the mosh pit?
You bet.
It's a Econoline van, back doors, it's an S10 Chevy pickup.
What would be nice is to have a bathroom.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I had one more thing.
Okay,
All right, go
But now I
ahead.
can't remember it.
I withdraw my motion.
No, you can't. Motion by Jody, second by Lauren to adjourn the meeting, 8:28 PM. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Dang it.
I watched hockey.
He said he's gonna wrap it.
That's all.
Is that what-
Tony, I just want to commend you.